Joining us now from the newsroom, our political analyst Brian Sobel. Once again, Brian, what do you expect to hear from Hillary Clinton's speech tonight? And specifically, how do you think she will address the trust issue?
Frank, that's going to be the interesting question. Does she really come out and hit the trust issue head on by saying, I know a lot of people don't trust me, but here's why you ought to? That's going to be something to watch tonight. But mainly, this is a huge speech because she has to cross beyond the Democratic base. She has to go after people who are independent. She has to go after the Bernie Sanders supporters. And you know what else? She has to go after Republicans as well. So I expect this to be a rather broad speech that really focuses on her many qualities, at least from her perspective.
Yeah, a lot of business to get to, you said, but the stakes are incredibly high, and she's following some incredible speeches from like President Obama the night before. Millions of voters, I think, welcome, obviously, her experience, but like we've been talking about, they question her character. Can one speech in one night change the issue that she struggles with, the likability factor?
No, but it's the start. She has to give a really good speech tonight that I believe, as I said, tackle some of those tough issues, and then from this point forward she has to continually double back to that question, because as we know, this is what's showing up in all the polling, that her trustworthiness is in question, and people have to feel good about the candidate, and this is where against her competition, she has to be the person that people want to see as president of the United States, and that's her job tonight.
Donald Trump has criticized the convention. He says that Democrats aren't talking about, in his opinion, the real world, and in particular, they're not talking about radical Islamic terrorism. Are the Democrats missing an opportunity here? I mean, let's be honest. There are a lot of people in this country who are very worried about a terrorist attack here in the United States.
Frank, it's a great question, and yes, in my view, they are missing an opportunity. A number of news agencies and outlets, media outlets, have been looking at how often, as an example, the acronym ISIS has been mentioned at the convention, and for the first 2 days, it was barely mentioned or not mentioned at all. Yet Americans are clearly concerned about security issues, security in the United States, and what they're seeing in Europe and other places. So to pass on this issue for whatever reason is probably not the best choice, because Trump owns that issue and you've got to go after him on that.
Brian, let's talk about some polls. The latest Real Clear Politics average has Trump maintaining his lead, even pulling ahead slightly as the Democrats wrap up their convention. So it appears he's maintaining his convention bounce. Is that surprising?
Yes and no, Julie. The convention bounce always lasts a few days, so he's enjoying that. I think after Hillary Clinton's speech tonight, she'll get a little bit of a bounce as well. Then what happens is, after a few days, those numbers will recede back pretty much to where they were before. That at least is the historical thing that happens, and we'll have to see, you know, whether Trump maintains that bump as we go forward, or whether Hillary takes command of the bump.
All right, Brian Sobel in our newsroom tonight. Brian, thank you.
Yes, absolutely.